views and opinions expressed by the hosts do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guests do not reflect those of the hosts, the show, the management, and the network. Hello and welcome, everyone. Good day to each one of you. Thank you so much for dropping by and for tuning with us. Today is very important. We welcome all the dreamers, explorers, and aspiring adventurers. My name is Lee. Motivationally, welcome to my channel. Today, we invite each one of you to embark on a journey of imagination and possibility as we delve into the realm of dreaming, of going abroad, coming to Australia. And whether you yearn to study, or work, or simply travel perhaps, or maybe immerse yourself in a different culture. So this session today, at this evening, this afternoon, this morning, whatever time you have right now, is really important. It is designed to ignite your passion and also pave the way for fulfilling your overseas aspirations. So please come to Australia. And of course, the only way that you can do that is to always ask or reach out to an expert. And today we will be joined by the CEO of Way to Oz Migration and Education Services, who will talk about the updates, the migration updates from July the 1st, 2023 onwards. Welcome, Niti Hara. And you can see there in front of your screen that she's a registered migration agent and she knows anything about visa. Welcome, Niti Hara.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee.
Beautiful. How's your day going?
Yeah, good.
No.
Going very well. It was a beautiful weather this morning, although it's looking a little gloomy now. But it was nice and sunny.
I can see a bit of sun today. Anyways, a little bit of sun. You know, in Melbourne, we've got 3 or 4 seasons in a day. But anyways, welcome to Melbourne, the beautiful city in the world. All right. Niti, let's talk about the updates and migration. I believe from the 1st of July, there were maybe lots or a few or exciting changes happening. So please let us know what's going on. And a lot of people are excited to know about this. Take it away.
Sure. Okay. So the key change which happens almost every year, every start of the financial year, is changes to the visa fees. So every year, in line with the CPI index, usually the fee for various visa subclasses goes up by 3 to 4%. This year, in addition to that 3 or 4%, there is an additional fee hike in a variety of visa subclasses. And we have seen minimum of 9% fee increase in any of those. So from this, so any applications that are being lodged after 1st of July or in this new year, there is an increase in the visa fee. And some of them have actually gone by 20-25%. So just to give you an example, for the visitor visa, which used to be $150 for someone coming from outside of Australia, that has gone up to $190. Someone who's already in Australia and looking to extend their visitor visa, they used to pay $380 and now it's gone up to $475. So you can see nearly an increase of, $95. So that's 20-25% increase there. Some of the key ones I just want to highlight. So for example, student visa, it used to be $650, it's gone up to $710. Then temporary graduate work visas, that used to be $1,730, that's gone up to $1,895, so increase of $150. That's a massive increase. We haven't seen that for a while. It used to be 3 or 4%, but this year, as I said, at least we have seen 9 to 10% increase. That's a bare minimum.
Parents, inflation rate.
Exactly. That's what I think. Perhaps that's what they're trying to do. Parents visa subclass 143 used to be 4355, gone up to 4765, so nearly 10%. or even employer-sponsored visas, which used to be 4240, has gone up to 4640. So $400. So this time we have seen a huge jump, and that's why we were very busy before 1st of
Yeah,
July until 30th of June, because our clients wanted to lodge the application so that they could save some money there. So that was,
definitely.
yeah, so that's why it was really, really busy during that time. So that's a major change. I think everyone should know. Um, and there are some other fee increases also happening across, other than the visa application charges, such as the skills assessment authorities are changing their fee. So, for example, Engineers Australia have announced that from 1st of August they will have a fee increase.
Oh,
So
I see.
yeah, so many related agencies are also changing or increasing the fee this financial year. So that's a key change. Now, the good news in relation to that is let's talk about the temporary graduate visas, which is a work visas. So the best thing that's happened this year is the department has announced that people who have completed bachelor's, master's, or PhD level courses in certain qualification, we call it as eligible qualifications, they will be able to get an extension of 2 years on their 485 visa for no cost at all, no visa charge. So
That's
they have,
good.
yes, so they have released a huge list of eligible qualifications. So if you are a 485 holder, for example, or you've applied one, and your qualification that you have studied in Australia is in that list, that means you qualify for that extension of 485 visas.
Mhm.
And we are suggesting, we had so many queries, Lee, people have their existing 485 until, for example, December 2024, and they're asking, should we apply it? Will it supersede the existing one, or will I still get an extra one? So the
Mhm.
answer for them is it's an additional one. It's an extension. It won't supersede. And I think you
Okay.
must apply as soon as possible, because this list can change at any time. So there's no need to wait. There's no charge. It's not going to supersede. It's giving you extra. So you're going to secure more time here in Australia. So I think people
That's good to
who
know.
are eligible for this extension, they must avail this option.
Lovely.
So
And
that's
before you, yeah,
mm,
before you carry on with other good stuff right now, just on behalf of those who are newbies in this country, you're studying, TGV is a temporary graduate visa, right? So just to
yes,
clarify this on behalf of those who are new in this kind of like visa. The student visa has 2 years, right? Of obviously what you call this, the maximum of their studying when it comes to migrations, 2 years education.
usually people come for 2 years study,
Mhm.
um, for example, masters, and then they become eligible for temporary graduate visa. Or bachelor's is 3 years. So usually minimum of 2 years to qualify for temporary graduate visa.
That's right, yeah. And then once they've graduated, they'll have, whether they're in regional or in the city metro itself, they'll have a TGV of 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
Correct. So bachelor's is usually 2 years, master's is 3 years, PhD is 4 years, right?
Okay.
But now they're getting additional on top of that. So
Top of that,
bachelor's will get four if they have their qualification in that qualification list.
mhm,
Masters qualified will have five,
5,
PhD
yeah,
will have six.
6. That's really good, isn't it? And they don't need, if they're in the list of eligible qualification
Qualification.
anyway, they don't need to pay for the additional on top of what they have
Correct,
as a
correct,
TGV holder.
correct,
That's good to know. Thank you.
correct.
Yeah, and
Um,
yeah,
th-
continue.
th-
Yeah, please.
there's another related change with this temporary graduate visa, which I like to mention, and this is specifically people who have done a trade level courses or a vocational level courses. So we have spoken about graduate level, bachelor's or higher sector level, but the next change is for graduate level. So until uh, 1st July 2022, there used to be something called preliminary skills assessment. So anyone who has done a
Mhm.
trade qualification, They could
Mm-hmm.
only access this temporary graduate visa if they get a preliminary skills assessment completed from a TRA. So they had to give
I
that to
see.
the department to apply for their temporary graduate visa. Now remember, this is only for trade qualifications. Okay, so for
Right.
example, if we had a chef, for example, they had to do a PSA before they could apply for a work visa. Okay, they had to apply for the PSA, preliminary skills assessment. So it's an initial skills assessment, and as part of that, the students had to complete 360 hours of practical experience. So this was until 1st July 2022. So I'm talking about a year before. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because whatever had happened in COVID, and as a result of the concession, there was an exemption period for 1 year where the department got rid of this requirement of PSA. They said that's fine as long as you've done 2 years study, even if it's a trade level, you can apply temporary graduate visa.
Mm-hmm.
But from 1st of July this year, that PSA has kicked in back. It has been reintroduced. Okay,
Reintroduced. Yeah,
reintroduced. Yes,
that's
with
good.
the only change is that the students don't have to do that 360 hours of practical experience which they were supposed to do earlier. They just get the preliminary skills assessment from TRA on the basis of their qualification, and they need to provide that to the Department of Home Affairs when they're applying for 45 graduate visa. So remember,
Mm-hmm.
PSA has been reintroduced. The fee is $130 with DRA. So any trade level, the students who have completed a trade level course, they must provide PSA with their 45 application.
Okay.
Otherwise, they
Niti,
can't.
thank you for that, Niti. Niti, someone's asking what is PSA?
Preliminary skills assessment. So it's like an initial skills assessment that is used. As I said, it's an assessment based on the trade qualification that whether they can avail 485 or not.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know. Thank you for that. Few more good news there, Niti. We've talked about the
Yes,
PGV, the
I think
trade.
what I've done today is I've split by different sections. So we've spoken about fee increase. We have spoken about temporary graduate visas. I
Yeah.
think the next one I would want to talk about the hot topic, which is the skilled migration.
Yes,
Um,
please. Yes.
because we are into the new financial year. Everyone's asking, has the state opened? Has the requirements changed? Have their processes changed? Because this is what we have seen in last couple of years, that every time once we are into the new financial year, the different states provide either new criteria or they've got new list.
Mm-hmm.
So we are getting lots of calls, and what's going to happen this year, what's happening. So far what I know is I'm going to tell you. So South Australia, which is in Adelaide, where Adelaide is, South Australia did their webinar last week, and they said um, there is no change to the eligibility requirement. So it's going to be stay same as what it used to be last year. So you know
Yeah.
how there are different streams, studying in South Australia, working in South Australia, living in South Australia. They've got 4 or 5 different streams. They're saying they're going to keep it same. There is no change in the occupation list. So they're
That's
still
good
going
to
to
know.
assess the same number. They are only waiting for Department of Home Affairs to release the quota for this financial year. So every year, just so those who don't know, every year Department of Home Affairs, they release a certain number of seats to each state, against which they can invite people on 190 or 491 visa.
491. Yeah.
So that's what South Australia said, that they are ready to go. As soon as they receive the formal allocation of those numbers, they will open the floodgates, they will open the new processes, right?
That's good. That's
Uh,
exciting
yeah,
to know. Very soon,
yeah.
perhaps.
So I am hoping, and it's saying by end of July, we will have a news, at least from South Australia. That's what we heard, and
Mhm.
I'm assuming, because if it is if Department of Home Affairs is allocating to one state, of course they'll be doing to the other states at the same time. So it looks like to me August, we will see a lot of movement in August when the states will slowly and slowly start releasing or opening their state nomination processes.
Mm.
Similarly
Yeah.
for Victoria, where Melbourne is, Victoria have just published on their website that we are waiting for the new allocations. They haven't said anything. Now, and this purely my presumption here, that every year what we have seen, a trend that we have seen is that Victoria changes its rules, eligibility requirement. But I am just trying to read between the lines and what they have put on their website. It looks like to me there is not going to be a change in their criteria. They are just waiting for the allocations, because putting simply that we are waiting for the allocations, it gives a sense that they're ready to open the state nomination processes, and I don't see any changes happening there. May happen in 2 months' time, I can't say, but at this stage, that's what it is looking. But that's purely my presumption. There's nothing there on
Yeah.
Victoria website, or they haven't said anything.
Do
So
you
that's
think,
about
Niti, like, yes, do you think, Niti, the big cities are quite congested these days, like with different visas, like student visas are, applicants are coming, the skills migrants are coming as well, then work visa applicants are coming as well. So the big cities can be a bit, congested at this time.
it
Do you think
can be.
they'll lower the number of the quota itself of the number of seats?
Let's say it will all depend too. I mean, no one can stop if you're moving or working in a particular state, but it obviously the actual invites for the state nomination purposes, that's controlled by states. So if
Mm,
they identify that for a particular occupation it is congested, there's so many people out there, they will, internally they do have allocations per occupations as well, so they will be controlling that.
mm,
But we
mm.
still have, as I said, um, there are no invites as yet. They haven't opened up the state nomination quotas as yet. So we don't know at this point. Things will be more clear after.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but department's focus is mainly what I am reading between the lines is mainly on employer sponsored visas. In
Ah,
that way, they've made lots of changes, and the flexibility, they're giving more flexibility, and that leads to another topic actually. So,
mhm.
and these are some of the changes have already been implemented since 1st of July, and some of them are coming because it was in a media release. But that's all to do with an employer sponsored. So to give you example, the first one is around the dismit. So before 1st of July until last financial year, the the minimum threshold or the minimum income that an employer could offer to an employee when they're hiring an overseas employee was 53,900. From this year, department is saying we focus on skilled employees. So the minimum dismit or the minimum threshold income should be 70,000 per. So that's a fair bit of an increase. I think occupations like IT, engineering are winners in this, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, the reality is the trade occupations are kind of losing here because those employers can't afford to pay 70,000. Their industry standard rates maybe 50 or 55. So stretching and
Yeah,
taking 70,000 is a bit hard.
a bit too
Uh,
much. Yeah.
it's a bit too much, but we haven't heard anything back from the department as yet. What's their take on it? I think it's
Mm.
a different industries who will have to raise their voice to
That's right.
make them
It's
realize.
a bit of a challenge, isn't it, for the employers, even though they are eligible to, recruit or employ people either onshore or offshore. It's just the cap that they've been assigned to.
Correct.
That'll be the
Correct.
challenge.
It is. So, but what that's telling is that when the department was formulating these policies or these, the changes therein, I think what they have in their mind is the skilled employees, which is higher paid or professionals, IT
Mm.
engineers. So I think that that's what it looks like. If you read between the lines, that's where the focus would be, that they want more skilled IT graduates, medical graduates, engineering graduates in the
Mhm.
country. Yeah. Um, but one thing they did mention, which is a welcoming news here. So um, and till now, we have 482, which is a temporary work visa. We have got it like split into, let's say, in a two list, STSL and MLTSL.
Yeah.
So if their occupation, if someone's occupation was on an STSL, they could only get the work visa or 482 visa for 2 years only. And they could renew it after 2 years, but it would not lead to PR. Now, and only the occupations which are in MLTSL, they could transition to permanent after 3 years. So poor people who've been in the country, unfortunately, their occupation was in STSL, they could not avail a permanent residency option. Now the good news is department has recognized. They're saying we are hiring people, we are training them, and then we are
Mm.
letting them go back to their country. That's not working. The system is not working clearly, right? They
Yeah,
have spent,
definitely.
a couple of years. We have trained them. We should be able to hire them. We should be able to, regardless of what list they are in, they should be all given fair chance. So from end of this calendar year, which is around Christmas time or December, that's
Yeah.
what's been announced, all 482 visa holders, whether they were on STSL, whether they were on MLTSL, they will all be able to transition to PR, permanent residency,
Wow.
after two
There you
years of
go.
482. So
That's
that's a
good.
good news. I don't know.
Yes. Woo.
We,
Good news.
we had lots of calls, people who were in, like marketing specialists or project coordinators. These people, they had no way to transition to permanency, but now they can,
Yeah.
right?
That's good
So
to know.
that is a very good news, very, very good news that 482 visa holders can transition to um, permanent visas. So,
Did you just mention, Niti, that would they have to wait at the end of this year for it to be implemented, or it
yes,
has been
it hasn't been no, it hasn't been
the
implemented.
plan?
The department said it will be implemented by end of this calendar year, by December
There
2023.
you go. Something to
So,
look forward to for those who have 482 visas at this time.
correct,
There
correct.
is an opportunity for PR. Let's wait until the end of this year.
Correct. And with that, when the department announced about this minimum threshold, there was so much noise or chaos for 491 visa holders. So, just to give you a background, 49 visa is a skilled visa, right? Which
That's right,
requires
491.
a temporary 5-year visa. And people who got 491, in order for them to transition to PR, which is sub class 191, people
Mhm.
had the requirement is they have to live, work, study in regional area. In addition to that, there was another criteria that they should be earning minimum tismit. That was the word used earlier, which is that was set to 53,900. That they must be earning every year 53,900 to move to the next stage, which
Mhm.
is the PR sub plus 191. So when the department introduced this TISMIT increase for employer sponsored, because of that word, common word, there was lots of noise, chaos among subclass 491 holders. Oh my God, is it going to apply to us? Do we have to earn 70,000 to move to the next stage? And to be fair and honest, it's not easy to find jobs in regional areas, right? And to
Oh yeah.
earn 70,000 every year. So people were too scared. They were scared to take, even those who had applied, they were like, we don't want to have subclass 491 because they were scared. What are we going to do 3 years after? But we have received clarifications on that. That in fact, for subclass 191, they've in fact removed the TISMIT altogether. They've said there's no minimum income threshold.
That's
As long
good.
as you've lived there, you've studied there, you've worked there for 3 years, you can transition
3 years.
to permanent residencies, right?
Three
You
years,
don't need
just to clarify,
three.
3 years.
Yeah, you
Not
don't
even
need to
five.
show this is how much you earn. You could be earning 10,000 or 20,000. That's fine,
Yeah.
right? So
Regardless.
regardless, so that's a big relief to subclass 491 visa holders,
Yes.
because for two
Oh, I
months
know
they
that.
were like, oh my god, people had their applications already lodged and they were like, we don't want the grant, we don't want the grant, because we don't know whether we'll be able to uh,
Yeah.
achieve that threshold, whether we will be
Threshold.
able to
Yeah.
meet that. um,
70K is a big money. So good thing
it's a
right now. It's a good
good.
news for those
So
who
I
have 491 visas out there.
correct,
It's a
correct.
good news.
So these were all these are welcome, welcoming news for most of us, except for the fee increase, of course.
There's always
But
be something.
yes,
This
but
the way
that's
things
across
happen.
the globe, and we
Balance.
and because of the inflation rate, we have to keep up. Um,
Mm.
okay, now last but not least, again a very very good news, which is in already implemented since 1st of July, is New Zealanders who
Yes.
are on 444 visa. And Lee, you won't believe it, there are around 300,000 New Zealand citizens in Australia
Wow.
who are on subclass 444, and they've been in the country for 15, 20 years,
Wow.
right?
Yes, I know.
And a very rightly and welcoming uh, news that has been given to them is that they can now transition to Australian citizenship. They can be granted Australian citizenship as long as they have lived in the country for 4 years. Now, I think this is really good, because what was happening was there were people who've been here in Australia for last 15 years or 20 years. They've been contributing to economy, but they were not
Yeah.
able to access the same rights which an Australian citizen would, right? So, for example, let's say if someone was married to a New Zealand citizen, and unfortunately, if the spouse was victim of domestic violence, that spouse could not access any rights because he or she was not spouse of an Australian citizen. So they were deprived of those, right? So now,
Yeah.
at least when the New Zealand citizens become Australian citizens, now they're the spouse of Australian citizen. They get the same rights, right?
That's really
Earlier,
good to know.
earlier New Zealand citizens were not able to, bring their parents because they were not meeting the definition of balance of family test. They
Criteria.
couldn't they couldn't access any other family visas like child visa or partner visa. They had to go through the New Zealand system to, so I think that's a very big news, and it is
It
already
is.
live. So as of 1st of July, they are regarded as, for the purposes of citizenship, they are regarded as Australian permanent residents, and now they can apply for the citizenship. So that's a big news as well for the New
It is.
Zealanders.
For those who have, for those who are New Zealanders here or watching right now, or you have friends out there that are New Zealand citizens, please let them reach out to Way to Oz, and of course
Mhm.
through Niti. And you can follow Way to Oz on the different sort of like social media: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook page, and of course the website Niti is www.waytooz.com for further information, and Niti and the rest of the team will be there to support you guys and explain the things that you need to know as well. So yeah, that's really good.
Yes, so that's, I think I've tried to summarize all the changes. There is a lot more coming. It's not an end, as I said, because we've just started with a new financial year. So I guess we will have to do this more frequent to give updates to our
Yes.
viewers, to our clients, because I am suspecting in next 2 months there's a lot more coming, a lot more
Yeah,
coming.
definitely. And it's really interesting and exciting to know that there are a lot of good stuff, good things are coming, after the financial year, 1st of July 2023 onwards. So watch out for that. We will have more episodes of this migration update with Niti Hara. And today, of course, just to run through, we've talked about the new fees as well. And if you didn't weren't able to write it down, you can replay this again, this live podcast with me and Niti, and write it down. What are the new fees? Or you can go to their website www.waytooz.com. And today we've talked about the TGV, the temporary graduate visa, right, Niti? And that they have that specific years for bachelor. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 years is the normal. Plus, on top of that,
Yes,
will be another 2 years, so all in all 4 years. And
Mm-hmm.
then for the master's is 3 years, and on top of that plus 2 years, and PhD 4 years plus 2 years. Wow, that's really amazing. And the extension of 2 years on top of the regular years has been given or granted for each one of them. Usually, if they're in the what you call that eligible qualification, they don't need to
Yes,
pay for this extension, which is on
correct.
top of what they have. That's really good. And we've talked about the skills migration as well, right? The update for skills migration, replay on this. And also, of course, the New Zealand triple four, what should I call it?
Visa
Triple four visa.
visa holders.
Visa holders, please, that you can be permanent resident here. How about citizenship, Niti? Sorry if I did
Citizen.
hear it.
They can be citizen, not
They
resident.
become citizen, yes.
They can apply for Australian citizenship.
Citizen straight away, regardless of what you're doing. So please spread the good news and reach out to Way to Oz Migration and Education Services, and Niti will be there to support them. Again, always consult an expert like Niti Hara, who is actually a registered migration agent, as you can see in front of your screen, guys. You can check it out. Once again, please reach out to Way to Oz Migration and Education Services. Niti, is there anything else that you want to update everyone? Because we have more plans for other episodes, right?
Well, I
Other
think I
visas to go
forgot to
through.
mention
Yeah.
subclass 408 COVID visa, guys, is still open.
Mm-hmm.
People were a bit scared, and there was news or in the market that it's going to be called off on 30th of June, but
Yeah.
it is still available. So guys, 408 COVID visa is still open.
There you go. Thank you so much for that, Niti. Is there anything else that you want to spread a
I
good
think
news to everyone? We'll
we've given
reserve
the
the rest.
we've given the
We'll reserve the rest. And perhaps
yeah.
after this, Niti and myself will be doing more podcasts, different episodes on different visa again from this year because we've done this last year. We'll give you more updates on maybe next time will be partner visa
Mhm.
and the rest of the other visa because Way to Oz caters any sort of visas, okay, from the work sponsored visa, student visa, tourist visa, what else, of course the skills visa and other visas. Overall, Niti knows every single visa. Trust me, she knows whatever you need to know. You can ask her even through her WhatsApp as well. She responds straight away. And of course, FB page, as I've mentioned a while ago, please follow Way to Oz on their different social media in front of your screen, right, running in front of your screen. Niti, thank you so much for today. But before you go, let me just give them a little bit of a blurb at this time about those who are dreamers out there, explorers, as I said, not Dora the Explorer, but those who wants to really try how to thrive outside of your comfort zone, your country. Today is really a very special day for each one of us because there's so many exciting news coming from from the immigration itself. So thank you so much for joining us as we unlock the wonders of dreaming beyond borders. And with that as well, hopefully we have inspired you to take that big leap as well, broaden your horizons and embrace that extraordinary adventure that awaits you. All right. And the world is waiting for you guys. What are you waiting for? Stop, procrastinating. Create that opportunity. Do not wait for that opportunity to come to you. Create that now. Make it happen. Let's start dreaming, coming to Australia, with your friends, family. This is the right time. So wait, don't wait for, another day and stop dreaming because if you dream a dream without a timeline will always be a dream. So please reach out to Way to Oz Migration and Education Services. And of course, I am Lee, motivationally. Please follow me on my different social media platform on LinkedIn. I am Lee Montage is there. Instagram is motivationally, FB page is motivationally, and YouTube channel as well. And of course, TikTok. I'm a newbie in TikTok as well, so please join me as motivationally. And once again, Niti, let me see Niti again. Thank you so much for joining us today, Niti. Thank you for all the good news and many more podcasts to come. This is it, a collaborating with Way to Oz and informing everyone what's the good news and what's new coming to Australia. So hopefully we'll see you again next time, guys, for our next episode on migration updates. Thank you so much, Niti, and take good care of yourself and everyone as well. Have a nice day. See you again next time. This is Motivationally. Bye.